Hi there, this is Brett, and I'm sat here with, or opposite Sandy on my computer. How are you, Sandy?
Hi, I'm very good, Brett. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you. So you're back safely from the Northeast, back in
It's true.
Florida.
Yeah,
I think
I'm
we
really
may have mentioned
glad I got back before they had the minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit.
yeah, that doesn't sound like fun at
No.
all. Yeah, yeah. I almost got had yesterday by a bit of clickbait. You probably see the same thing when you go on to you just open a new tab in your browser and you end up on the Bing
Right.
homepage and there's all
Yeah.
this like clickbait stuff
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but one of them grabbed me. It's like the UK is going to experience this same
Uh,
cold weather front and snowstorms and everything that you experienced over in the US and I looked at it and it was like a yeah, weather forecast where this might happen and blah blah
mm.
blah. It's like it's not on any forecast at all that you'll see because this is like insider information coming from the Daily Mail. So okay, all right, yeah, I've just been had by some clickbait.
Well, here's a pro tip is
Yeah.
did you know you can change that screen? So I have mine. So in my Lightning Tools browser, like I've got a different browser for each, one for Lightning Tools, one for Enlightening, one for me personally. And so in my Lightning Tools browser, when I know I don't want to be distracted by that stuff every time I open a tab, I have it set to just show a background image, and it always shows this calming motion, moving trees or something like that. And then I am not distracted by all that.
That's yeah, that's good. I've customized it to show me stuff that's actually interesting to me and everything, but
Right.
still you get loads of clickbait about all
Right.
of that sort
Mm.
of stuff. So yeah, may well follow your footsteps and do the same thing. It sounds good.
Mm.
So yeah, fortunately we're not going to get that weather,
Right. Good.
but there we are. Um, so yeah, weather's actually really nice. Just in case you are interested, we always talk about
Okay.
the weather at the start of these.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
really
we've got
nice
lots
here
of
too.
lots of sunshine. It's cold, but it's sunny,
Mm.
so that's nice.
Nice.
Good. So we've got a couple of things to talk about,
Mm.
and one of them we did mention a couple of episodes back, and that was about a new strategic partnership with Kudzu,
Mm.
which is a company that specialize in forms, basically, and they've created a form migration tool that will work with our Lightning forms.
Yeah,
So
super cool.
yeah, it's awesome. So what I want to do is just talk a little bit about Lightning Forms and
Mm.
so on what it does, so everybody's clear on that, so we know what we're talking about migrating to. But yeah, we've got the Lightning Forms for SharePoint, SharePoint on-prem, and also SharePoint Online, and Kudzu has a migrator that is going to work with that, and we'll talk more about what that can migrate from and to in just a moment. And also, we're going to be talking about the CollabDays event, which is
Mm.
coming up this year. So last year we successfully ran two CollabDays events at the National Museum of Computing. Again, it's a fantastic opportunity for us to not just serve the Microsoft 365 community, but to help the museum and everything that they do. So first of all, it's a museum that is home to the world's largest collection of working computers, and this
Mm.
includes the one and only Colossus, which was the
Mm.
world's first digital computer. So that is there; you can see it working,
That's
which
so
is
cool.
absolutely amazing. Yeah, and
Mm.
we've also got things like the bomb,
Mm.
which was creation by Sir Alan Turing during the World War II, of course,
Mm.
and yeah, that helped crack the Enigma codes
Mm.
and so on.
Mm.
So lots of different computers like that, which are just incredible to see, especially incredible to see them working. But that goes all the way up to the 80s as well, and that's
Mm.
where you feel old when you go in there and you're like, yeah, I used to have that mobile phone and I used to have that computer and so on. And they're in a museum. Great.
Mm.
So yeah, there's that experience to be had.
Mm.
But
I'd
also
really like to get there someday.
yeah, you have to.
Mm.
So yeah, the National Museum of Computing, they also do a lot for their community. They help people with, and I know we've spoken about this in the past, so I'll sort of talk through quickly, but yeah, they do a lot for young children and helping them to gain experience writing code and so on. So there's actually a lot of volunteers that will give up their Sunday. They'll go and teach these students. So by hosting the event there, any sponsorship money that we get doesn't go to a big hotel chain or a conference facility.
Nice.
Yeah, we're giving it directly to the National Museum of Computing to use either to support these classes that they provide. They also provide classes for young adults with autism and so on as well, to upskill them. But they also have needs, and at the moment they have a need for re-roofing the museum too. So they're trying to raise funds for that.
Sounds important to protect
Yeah,
all of
absolutely. Yeah, they actually
technology.
had a water leak this winter, which was
geez.
coming pretty close to Colossus.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, they've got some funds to raise in order to meet a grant. So the Royal Mail is apparently offering them a grant of about £600,000 to completely re-roof the museum, but they've got to meet it with a certain amount as well, which is I think 150k. So they're trying to raise that at the moment.
Okay.
So anything that we can do for the museum, we do, and by hosting this event there, like I say, it's a great Microsoft 365 community event because people get to attend it and learn from some of the best in the community in terms of speakers for subjects like Microsoft Viva, for subjects such as SharePoint and Teams and Azure, the Power Platform, and so on. And some really world-class speakers that volunteer their time as well to come and speak there. And you can attend it for free. You just need to register and show up and learn. And you'll be helping the museum, and you'll also be learning and take a lot of information back. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Okay, I'll put a link to the site on the in the notes of the show notes.
Fantastic. And yeah, it's CollabDays.org, and you'll see the Bletchley Park one. There's also other events that are occurring as well. I know there's one for Italy and Portugal, and I think they've made their way over to the States now as well. There's New England and so on too. But also Microsoft has created a new site as well, which is communitydays.org. So this is actually supported by Microsoft. They will help people that are hosting sort of one-day smaller events to get more awareness in terms of sponsorship, attendees, speakers, and so on as well. So you'll actually also find it listed there under communitydays.org.
Nice.
So yeah, that's great. So 27th September, you can register as of now, you can sponsor as of now, you can register to speak as of now as well. So it'd be great to get all of those balls rolling if you're interested.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so back to the products then. Let's talk a bit about Lightning Forms. Sandy, do you want to just
Sure.
do a bit background on Lightning Forms and the Lightning Forms suite, and then we can get into kudzu.
Okay. All right. Sure. Yeah. So I know we've talked about this before, but not everybody watches all of our episodes. So we'll talk about it again. Lightning Forms is a SharePoint list customization tool. So currently, without Lightning Forms, if you have a SharePoint custom list and it has, a bunch of columns / fields that you want people to fill out when they're entering new items or editing items, or even displaying items in SharePoint out of the box, they'll appear over in a side panel just in a big long line. And especially if you have a lot of columns, that gets burdensome for people to just go through all of those fields that they have to fill out. But you can, in SharePoint out of the box, do some minor customization with that form as far as some rearranging of the columns and some like header, footer kind of areas, things like that. But with Lightning Forms, you can completely customize the form that you want people to see. It'll still come out in the side panel in the modern experience, so that's really nice. But you can have different sections with different numbers of columns across. You can create a tabbed interface really easily, like just click to add a tab. There's no code involved whatsoever. You can make fields conditionally visible or not, or give them conditional styling. So for example, if a person chooses some option on one field, maybe a whole section will then appear that is relevant to that choice that they made. You can have sublists, as we call them in Lightning Forms, which would be similar in InfoPath to repeating rows, repeating table. which lets you connect a related list in SharePoint to your sort of parent list, and then people can insert items in that new list, in that child list, so to speak, in addition to the parent list. And again, that's really easy to do. If you were trying to do that same thing in, say, Power Apps, which is Microsoft's other alternative to SharePoint list form customization, it would not be trivial, really, to connect that up and have it display the way you want. But with Lightning Forms, you can just click. You just tick a button and choose the list that you want to add as your sub list, and there it is. And it's you can even have Lightning Forms create the lookup field for you that makes those two lists be related to each other. So very little effort involved to create a really nice looking custom form of, whatever size across you want, and things like that. Then it also includes actions. So you can create buttons either at the top or within the form that do then a sequence of actions. And there is a whole action builder that's provided as part of Lightning Forms that lets you do things like send an email, or it has looping available, or conditions, if something, then do something else. Adding items to other lists, and all kinds of things in a sort of a Power Automate style design screen. Although I think some of its features are frankly better than what Power Automate has, like you just drag your actions over into the screen. And then those same actions are also available in our Lightning List Actions, so just a companion product to Lightning Forms, and that lets you build that same sort of workflow on buttons that are in your command bar of your list, which is also really cool. So again, sort of similar to what you can do with Power Automate, where you can have, you can build an automation or a flow that is just related to that list, but you've got to go through a couple menu steps to get to it, for one thing. And I feel like it's not conditional, for example, whereas with list actions, you're actually adding a button into that command bar, and you could make it only visible to certain people, for example, or only visible in certain conditions on the list. Like if you've selected an item or multiple items, different things could be available. So yeah, also very cool.
Fantastic. Yeah, so all of that it can be offered through the the Lightning Forms suite. And if you are a company that I guess has a considerable amount of forms already, so it may be that you've got some PDF forms created that you email out to potential vendors or what have you for completion, or maybe you've got InfoPath forms that you've been using with or without SharePoint form libraries, or potentially even Word document forms or Excel forms, all of this. What you can now do with our partnership with Kudzu is use the Kudzu Forms Migrator, and that allows you to actually read in the design of one of these forms. So you could read in the InfoPath form from either the InfoPath form design file, the XSN, or you could also read in from the SharePoint form library as well if it's published there. You could read in from a PDF form, a Word, an Excel form. You could read in from Word if it is converted to PDF, or you could also,
enough.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could also just bring in an image of a form. So if you've got one that was printed or something, you could use that. And there's also Balsamic as well. So if you use a sort of mock-up, a wireframe of a form, you could also read that. So you're able to preview, once you've uploaded it, you're able to preview what the form looks like in its current state. So that just gives you confidence that the design schema, everything was understood. You can test run that form, just make sure that the logic is in there and so on. And that creates you a solution in Kudzu. And with that solution in Kudzu, you can then choose to write out to one of their writers. So we're offering a version of the Kudzu Form Migrator, which can write out to a SharePoint list or to Lightning Forms. So with Lightning Forms, you're going to get the SharePoint list with the layout being inside of Lightning Forms. So it will, if you've got 1, 2, or 3 column layout or a mixed column layout in your form. If you've got images such as logos in there, or any logic, etc., all of that will be transformed into a SharePoint list or SharePoint lists. So you may have had, if it's InfoPath, you could have had a repeating table or more. So these become sublists inside of SharePoint, embedded on the form with Lightning Forms. So
to me, that's one of the coolest things, that you don't have to pre-create the lists that are going to underlie your form.
Exactly, your lists are generated, your custom forms are generated, and yeah, you could either then use it as is, or if you wanted to make some further enhancements using Lightning Forms, you're able to do that as well. Yeah, it's an extremely powerful, useful product. So we are going to be officially launching this next Thursday. So we're going to be having a webinar. So if you wanted to register for that webinar, there's going to be myself and also Rob from Kudzu is going to be co-hosting that webinar. So feel free to sign up. You can do that by going to lightningtools.com, and under the webinars, you'll see the opportunity to register for that webinar, or also on our homepage. I think you'll also see it. But yeah, that's going to be 4 p.m. GMT next Thursday, the 16th of February. And yeah, if you cannot attend that date, time, sign up, because we'll capture the recording as well, and you'll be one of the first to be notified that is available. So
the live webinars are always good to attend though, because people can ask questions and get their answers right then and there.
100%. Yes. Yeah, absolutely right. So yeah, and Rob will, like I said, be on the call as well. He's the expert, so he'll be able to talk more about what that product is doing as well. So yeah, that'd be
very
great.
cool, very cool. I saw that he also was recently a guest of Jeremy Thake on a developer webcast, so to get into kind of the technical details of what they're doing with the Kudzu Form Migrator.
Yeah, which is absolutely fantastic. And I came across that on LinkedIn, so I guess if you find Rob O'Drea from Kudzu, yeah, he has that on his LinkedIn page, so you'll be able to find it there. But I'm sure, Sandy, once again, you'll be able to create a link out to that too. So, fantastic. Cool. So yeah, that's my news. I'm looking forward to that release next week. I'm looking forward to that event, and yeah, in terms of the Lightning Tools roadmap as well, that's also live on our website, so you can check out that schedule and know what we'll be talking about next.
Great. Sounds good. Yeah, so yeah, look forward to seeing everybody next time, and it was good talking with you again.
Likewise, Sandy, and yeah, take care, and I'll speak to you very soon.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.